you like home visit as I do, today I'm sharing with you 5 museum visits that are home visits. Of course, it's for people who are curious of old homes. Bonjour, my name is Blandine and I am a big fan of home decor, and for 80% of my life I've lived in or around Paris. With Paris Créa, I'm sharing Paris with you in front of a camera, which is a tough one. So let's begin with the Musée Jacques Marandré. It's a great visit of a 19th century mansion on Boulevard Haussmann near the Champs-Élysées. Boulevard Haussmann was one of the major new avenues created by Haussmann's reorganization of Paris from 1853 onwards. Édouard André bought a plot of land on this new avenue and built his sumptuous townhouse. The inauguration in 1876 was a worldly success. As the sole heir of wealthy bankers, he developed an early passion for art. So you'll be touring the furnished home of a wealthy couple of collectors. You will discover the state apartments, the informal apartments, the winter garden, the staircase, and the private apartment. And it takes you back to the ostentatious luxury of the 19th century. Also, the couple were Venetian art enthusiasts. Back then, stables here could accommodate 14 horses and 13 carriages. And the double revolution staircase is very impressive, as well as the balcony above the music salon. Up to 1,000 guests from all over Paris attended prestigious parties here. The large red hangings are typical of home decor back then. The dining room was at the exact place where today visitors can enjoy lunch in the Café Jacquemart coffee shop. And it's a nice place to have lunch. Winter garden and smoking room were very fashionable at the time. From paintings to furniture, everything has been carefully selected here. Italian Renaissance works by Botticelli and Bellini decorate the wall. And you will also find collections of Asian objects, they were fashionable back then too. And I love the bathroom. Now, La Maison Victor Hugo. It's a great free visit giving you a unique view on La Place des Vosges in the Marais district. And Victor Hugo is a writer, the one who saved Notre Dame thanks to his novel. Here again you will see the influence of Asian arts, and you'll be inside a 17th century building. So you can imagine what it is to have an apartment sitting on La Place des Vosges, which is one of the most expensive areas to live in Paris. The apartment that Victor Hugo rented from 1832 to 1848 reveals a side of Victor Hugo's genius that remains little known, and it's his talent as an interior designer. So in this visit you'll understand how Victor Hugo was also passionate about home decor and created pieces of furniture for himself by himself. For instance, in the Chinese room, the wood panels were created and designed by Victor Hugo himself. Also, his writer's desk is funny because it's very high, as Victor Hugo also wrote standing up. Ahead of his time, he turned a door into a table and chests into benches. And we can say Victor Hugo was a pioneer in interior design and upcycling. Also there is a nice coffee shop for a lunch break or a coffee. Now, La Maison Clémenceau is a small visit in the 16th district of Paris. But it's a very interesting one, as it's a classical apartment dating back to 1929. And it was the personal apartment of a former French president. It's a quick visit, but I like having a picture at that time of history. Visiting this museum really feels like visiting visiting grandpa's home, and his nickname was the Tiger. He's known for his role in the victory of the First World War. It's ideal to compare today's comfort to back then comfort. His personal life was kind of awkward, but I can mention that at the end of his life, Clemenceau's passion for art led him to support the project to install Monet paintings at l'Oranger Museum. So, you will discover a typical, charming Parisian apartment as it was at the beginning of the 20th century. In its original state, and we would say, in French, dans son jus, meaning literally in its juice. It's a 4-room apartment with a little garden and a view on the Eiffel Tower. Clemenceau loved his garden, he raised chickens there and entertained visitors, among whose Monet. And him and Monet exchanged botanical tips. Here again, Clemenceau, who was an avid traveler, was fond of Japanese art. As odd as it may seem, the president's slippers are still next to his bed and his toothbrush in his cup. It's an American patron of arts who helped the Clemenceau family to turn the apartment into a museum. While you are in the 16th district, there is also another small, interesting museum, and it's a charming little house with a garden and a view of Paris, and it was also the house of another French writer. It's a 7-minute walk from the other apartment, and it maybe is the smallest museum of Paris. It's in the Passy area, neighborhood, the Quartier Passy, and Passy back then was a village of wine growers and farmers. So here you are in the house of Balzac, the writer, and he was a workaholic, and what I find very impressive is the cast of characters from his saga of novels called La Comédie Humaine, the Human Comedy. And he intended to picture 2,500 characters. The museum emphasizes his incredible capacity of work. You will see his desk and his coffee pot in a small space he called himself his prison. And the museum emphasizes his incredible capacity for work. He wrote that he had a goal for himself to work sometimes from 20 to 22 hours per day on certain periods. He was inspired by the classifications of nature, so he wanted to describe the human nature and write the history of morals forgotten by historians, as he said. Before becoming a writer, Balzac was an entrepreneur. It's a difficult word to pronounce because entrepreneur in French is the same word but with a different pronunciation. I cannot do it in English. So Balzac was an entrepreneur, and he tried his hand at bookstores, publishing, printing, real estate, speculation, among others. His projects were not successful, but these experiences provided him material for his novels, and this is the magic of creativity. Now let's talk about a more recent house by Le Corbusier. It's also a quick visit, but it's very interesting because it's the beginning of modernity in architecture. It's also in the 16th district of Paris. The foundation Le Corbusier Maison Laroche is in a Paris cul-de-sac, une impasse, a small street with no car. And there you will discover the avant-garde of modern architecture in the 1920s, early 1920s. So here, between 1923 and 1925, 2 houses were built by architects Le Corbusier and Pierre Jeanneret, his cousin and associates. One house was designed for a family with children, so it had to be extremely functional, and the other one was designed and built for a bachelor, Raoul Laroche, who owned a great collection of art pieces. His house served mainly as a gallery for his collection. So it was the new use of reinforced concrete that enabled this new architecture, as Le Corbusier called it. And Le Corbusier named the 5 points of this new style. So here are they. Les pilotis, the house is detached from the ground and there are no load-bearing walls. They are reinforced concrete posts. The garden roof, the terrace, is installed on the roof which was highly innovative at the time and economical. He uses a free plan for fluid interior space layout without load-bearing walls. He uses long windows, so the landscape would be a painting. As for the facade, it's a curved wall because it's no longer have to be a load-bearing function, and Le Corbusier was determined to do without any ornamentation. Also, you will recognize these very famous pieces of furniture, and the line called LC was designed using metal pipes. These armchairs are the result of a collaboration between Charlotte Perriand, Le Corbusier and Pierre Jeanneret. Now, there are 2 more home visits that are closed until 2026 for renovation. One home museum visit that I really love is Le Musée Camondo, and I will show you here as it's closed until 2026. And I love really this one because it's a rare one where you can visit the kitchen. And the kitchen would make you feel as if you were in Downton Abbey or any movie. The other one is also a nice visit, but also it's closed until 2026, and it's called Le Musée de la Vie Romantique, and it's nice because it's a small house inside the city. There are 2 more home visits a little bit further of Paris, around 1.5 hour drive. One is La Maison Monet à Giverny, which is a great visit, and La Maison Fujita, who is a Japanese artist who lived here in France, and the visit is very interesting. Et voilà, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it was interesting to you and if you discovered something, I would be thrilled if you would leave a blue thumb up, and why not subscribe. Until next time, thank you for your time. Enjoy Paris!